So our topic is to discuss changing HR landscape, hidden roles and evolving responsibilities panelist. HR leader of the year. These are the panelists. HR Leader of the Year, Dr. Mahendran Chandrasekharan, Chief Human Resource Officer, People and Culture at Fuso Glass Stage, Dr. Mahendra Chandran. Ladies and gentlemen, I request everyone to give her a good big round of applause. Yes, sir. Please welcome. Please join, sir. I request next Ms. Indu Singh, Senior GM, Group of HR J&K Organization. Yes. Ma'am, please come. Next I call Vidyashree Rai, Chief People and Culture Officer, PureTech Digital. Next I call Ms. Supriya Sawant, Founder and CEO, HR Innovative. Ms. Supriya, yes. So now stage is all yours. Okay, I'll hand over a mic to you. You please introduce yourself. All right.
It's ready. Okay. Thank you so much. And I'm Dr. Mahendran Chandrasekharan. I'm from Fuso Glass India, which belongs to corporate office at Chennai, and we are operating in different locations. And we have a plant in Mumbai, and Hyderabad and Chennai. Chennai, we have 2 plants. This business, we have been in business about 50 plus years. Anyway, the company history is, it takes more time. Anyway, about this topic, I would say it because I'm very passionate about HR. I'm basically a psychologist, and then thereby I equipped myself into HR professional. Now I'm holding position as a CHRO for people and culture for India Fuso Glass. See, the topic which is given today is it's a really fabulous topic where all emerging HR professionals having more challenges, the roles, whatever it is, really we hiding. Okay, especially the performance of our roles and responsibility in various sectors, especially. Of course, I would say, and especially into manufacturing industries, HR is a key. We can say we are the heartbeat of the organization. Whereas the lot of the challenge, the roles are hidden. Lot of challenger roles are hidden. The responsibility which we take every day, it's really phenomenal. So I would say, because I am basically from manufacturing industry, the roles and responsibility, because it's, if you look at, we think that, and we would have to do some activities a day, but whereas when we are getting in a job, so that is unplanned activity you may see anything at your work areas. So I would strongly recommend, there are many roles are really hiding, and as a HR professional, of course, we should be having very strong knowledge in architect our organization with high potential culture, and especially this is all where we can do it only by doing some people analytics. Okay. So this people analytics, however, we normally do the analytic aspects, but whereas we are not getting any proper scope of expressing our ideas and decision towards the management. Always the business people are very busy. Okay, even if you go and approach the business people, they will say, okay, you can come tomorrow and come later. So they don't give more importance to our ideas or improvement area, because ours is expenses, right? It is not, we are not bringing any business to the organizations, whereas we are the person where we are, articulating, and we are also constructing the culture in the organization, where this ROI will not come immediately, where the business will realize when they will get the production, the effectiveness, the business growth, then people will come to know what is the real HR role in it. And I would say HR also is playing the high, risky role. Even sometime, even if you look at even a kind of a small, I worked in all kind of industries. Even if you look at, I started my career in Faurecia, if you know, because it's a French MNC. Then moved to, I worked in Tata also. I worked in Hyundai, and then Bonfiglio, it's a Italian MNC. So all where it is all kind of the HR professional or all the activities, if you look at. So the core area of HR professional is we place the agile agent in all the organization, because it's not only bringing the best talent to the organization. However, we also building the culture. So everything is shoulder on ours. So if you look at every home, we have a grandmothers, right? All the kids, they approach only the grandmothers, right? Mom, I need this, I want this. Even they cannot approach the mom and dad because they are very busy. Whereas if you approach grandmother and grandfather, they will say, oh, come. What is your problem? And accepting everything, because they have a time to listen. So all the HR person is like that. All the organization. We should hear properly, right? Whenever people come, listen. Then we need to give the proper advice. But whereas still, even we are all not appreciated on your activities, on your performance, where this is all most important. When you are identifying a talent, okay, and then onboarding a talent, then developing a talents, then getting in the superannuation, all these aspects we are doing. Many aspects are there. I think so. I take more time. Even other panelists also there, so they can also topping up. Thank you.
Pooja, do we have a moderator, or we have to kind of manage within ourselves the discussion? We'll have to. Okay, great. So good morning, everybody. I'm Indu Singh. I am Senior GM Group HR in JK Organization. So JK Organization is a 138-year-old organization. We have various businesses: JK Tire, JK Lakshmi Cement, JK Paper, JK Fanner, JK Agri, Umang Dairy. We have a hospital which is called Pushpavati Singhania Research Hospital. We have a university, JK Lakshmi Pat University, and various other businesses. We are into clinical research also, which is called Clinirex, and we are into defense business, which is called Delopt. So the organization has multiple businesses, and as Group HR, we are responsible for managing certain HR initiatives which are common across all businesses to ensure that we partner with business. So the context today, Mr. Chandrasekhan has also spoken a little bit about it. So before we get into the discussion, let me just set the context. What is the context? How the HR landscape is changing. We are all award winners here, so I'm sure all of you can add whatever we speak. So whenever you feel like adding something, if we have missed any point, please feel free to add. So what has happened is, I'll refer only to the post-COVID scenario. There is a lot of geopolitical instability which we have seen. That is a business scenario. There is the impact of COVID also, right? But if we look at the HR aspect, what has happened is the entry of the gig workers. So freelancers is more, right? There is a more push on hybrid workforce. So people want to work either part-time or they want to work for some days from home, some days from office, right? Then there is a multi-generational workforce. I think for the first time we have DETs, diploma engineer trainees, who are in the age group of 18-21, just passed out of 12th with a 1 or 2 year diploma, they are there. And then we have people who have been in the industry for 40-50 years, and they are also continuing because the retirement age has changed from 58 to 60, and now people are working till 65. So there is an entire range of age groups, and the multi-generational workforce is there. That is another thing. Now with the advent of technology, what is happening? All the jobs are getting automated. So the workforce in manufacturing is slowly decreasing. So all the manual jobs are getting automated. People who were semi-skilled, they are kind of have to look for other types of jobs. So that is another, changing landscape. Another thing is there is more entry of women into the workforce. If you see the percentage of women in workforce is increasing, and there is a major push from the organizations, from the government to increase the women participation in workforce. So these are some of the broader aspects in which the HR landscape is changing, and everything that is happening in HR, all the functions, all the initiatives are kind of derivatives from this kind of a background. So I would request the other panelists to also add to the context.
Thank you so much. Morning everyone, my name is Vidyashri and I head HR for PureTech Digital, which is a digital marketing agency. Very compelling and interesting topic, and I think I will build on what Indu said. And I was thinking while she was speaking that what is it that has evolved in the landscape, and three things sort of came to me almost immediately. One is, I think, HR professionals. I think the landscape can evolve if HR professionals evolve. So I think one of the things that is happening is that HR professionals are disrupting status quo in organizations. So for any key work to happen with people and in culture, somebody has to ask difficult questions. Somebody has to disrupt a status quo that has been going on for years. So I think HR professionals and HR as a fraternity and an industry, from being I think bystanders and spectators, progressively moving on to using our voice, and this panel is an indication of that. So one is to disrupt status quo, whether it is to bring in different genders into your workforce. Second, I think HR professionals are key in building psychological safety in workspaces, which is something that probably was happening, but I think every organization now, and taking from what Indu said, COVID, I think, threw us challenges that even as a fraternity we had never witnessed, right? So some of us have a background in psychology, some of us may not, but an ongoing sort of initiative at any workplace today is to build psychological safety for our multi-generational workforces. And the third thing, I think, which is really deeply evolved is the whole narrative of inclusion. What is inclusion and how do we build more inclusive workspaces? So I think it's a very, very interesting time for the fraternity, extremely challenging. We haven't been a time like this before. So yes, we are recruiting, we are onboarding, we are developing, we are building capability, capacity, there is engagement, but there is so much more where we are using our voices to, like I said, and I keep talking about it even in our workplace, that as an HR professional, you have to question status quo. And that is key to building people and key to building culture. So yeah, and I'll take one more minute. I think the last thing that has really shifted in the landscape is, as HR professionals, we have to understand the business we are in. So if we are part of a digital marketing agency, I can't not understand the business. I can't not understand how a campaign runs. We will not be able to add value and build that sort of a workforce if we are not actively involved in business and growth. So we are not secondary to business and growth. I think we are primary to it now. And I think kudos to us as a fraternity. Immense resilience that is required to do this work, immense agility, and you have to be on your toes. So yeah, thank you.
Great. Thank you so much. Okay. Hi. Good morning, everyone. This is Supriya Sawant. I'm the founder and the CEO of HR Innovate. HR Innovate is an HR consulting organization, and we function specially in the MSME segment, where there are no HRs. That's where my role comes in. Have around 2 decades of experience in HR across varied industries, from logistics and exports to an IT organization to educational institutions. Have headed HR for them, and then thought of giving up that role and taking up something on my own, and established the company called HR Innovate somewhere 2 years back. So I think the panelists have already thrown upon light on a lot of topics and how HR has evolved. For me, if I have to think about the role of HR, how it has evolved right from the Industrial Revolution, where our grandfathers and fathers used to work in one organization from the time they've joined till they retired, to our generation where we were pretty comfortable in one job or 2 jobs or max 4 jobs, to now having the Gen Zs come in and disrupting the entire way of functioning, right? So I think HRs have evolved from a personnel department, which it used to be called as, to an HR department where we used to moreover administer the policies and processes, to now being business partners. Okay, HRs are now no more as HRs, but now they are known as business partners, because we are somewhere driving the entire business. We are supposed to be understanding what exactly are the ingredients of a particular business, how and what is important in it, right from thinking about the people, the productivity, the profitability, and the potential that the organization carries. So it has the 4 Ps that HR professionals we need to understand, and then work alongside with the business owners to establish that kind of collaborative approach, where we work in tandem with exactly what is required for the business. So I think they have already touched upon the culture part, which is definitely important, as we are the culture ambassadors. We are the makers of the culture of any organization. When it comes to diversity and inclusion, there is a lot of emphasis. A lot of companies are working towards the D&I, and there's a lot of emphasis on having more women workforce in the organization, because it is said, no offense to the men sitting in the room, but yeah, it is said that women have more creativity when it comes to work, and stability as well. And that is why probably, the women workforce is much more preferred than the men. And apart from that, yes, there is a lot of disruption which is happening because of artificial intelligence, which has come into the picture. Now, as HR professionals, we don't have to be scared that AI is going to take up our jobs. It is not AI that is going to take up our jobs. It is the redundancy that you can create if you are not going along with AI. If you are not getting upskilled along with the need of the hour, then obviously there is a lot of redundancy that you're going to create for yourself, and that's the risk that you carry along with you in case if you are not upskilling yourself and working along with the technology and along with the digital transformation which is happening across the industries. So I think, yeah, that's a little bit that I would want to add here. Yes, you want to say something? Okay. Yeah.
I would say here, because now I've been working with now millions, and of course Gen Z. Okay, so hopefully I'll be working with Zen Alpha also. So that would be very tough, I believe, because as I know she was saying about the gig workers, right? Probably we would expect those kind of the complete work environment become in Zen Alpha generations. We should be very ready. People who really wanted to emerging into that generation, that would be very tough. So I would suggest all the leaders, everyone leaders are here because leaders present here for the Leaders Award. And I request you to please empower your team.
Absolutely.
Okay. Empower your team. So as we discussed about the upskilling, right? We started upskilling all the shop floor people and sales people and many people, many departments, other department except the HR department.
And just
right?
to add,
And I would suggest please empower our team members. Okay, so empower our team because once they get, if you have all the soldiers with you, right? Not a soldiers, they are all your marshals, right? If you have your marshals, then you can run your show anywhere. If a new project come, you should not worry about it, right? Once you have a well-skilled set of your people. So I would suggest upskill the HR skills and deliberately if you look at, of course, the HR as a HR person, I would also suggest, because facing all, mental related issues and we will be coming up. Now we are dealing with disease, right? We all HR will speak about the disorders in future. Okay, stress, okay, hysteria, schizophrenia, and kind of many challenges will come. Even if we start equipping our team members, especially on the psychological aspects and also analytical aspects, people analytical, and also we are very engaged person. So if there is HR department are there, only the activity, whether we need to engage them or we need to push them to work. Okay, these two things. However, if our team member has a good skill set of handling this situation, of course, that would be, they can overcome from any challenges in future, I'm telling. That's my view.
there's one thing that I would just want to add here. I think the entire focus from an employer has now been to employee. So HRs have evolved themselves from just thinking about the employer to now thinking about employee. What are the things in which we can brand our organization in such a way that we can attract and retain the talent that we have within the organization, as well as attract the talent from other organizations to our organizations. So there's a lot of emphasis about right from recruitments when we speak about candidates. How do we engage our candidates? Because looking at the dropout ratio and the kind of options that people have these days when it comes to choosing a job, it's not a single job that offer that they are coming up with. They may have 5-6 offers in hand, and then they have a choice to select which is the best lucrative offer for them, and select it as per that. So there's a lot of emphasis on candidate engagement. There's a lot of emphasis on branding of the organization in terms of maybe the EVP perspective, the employee value proposition. What is it that is there for the employees, which the employees would see as a value in a long term? So these are few of the things that again has changed over the time, where we are giving more emphasis to employees rather than and changing ourselves, our organization, making it more flexible, making it more agile, so that we can have more and more talent in the organization.
So thank you, Supriya. So now the context is set. We know how the HR landscape is changing. Now, what are companies doing to manage this change, to handle this change? So let me give an example of my company. So there is a major push on upskilling and reskilling of manpower. So what we have done, there are certain initiatives or interventions which we have launched. The first one is digital transformation. From the promoters level to the people who are working at the shop floor. We have organized their training programs, workshops at all levels. For senior level, we have organized digital transformation workshop with premium institutes like IIMs and all that. For middle management, there are certain other agencies which have been engaged. The idea is that the change is cascaded from the top, and the middle management and the lower management is also introduced to these changes so that they speak the same language. Similarly, because of the geopolitical instability, there is a lot of change in the supply chain. So what is happening, how the markets are changing, how can the digital transformation facilitate supply chains, right? So for this, we organized a supply chain workshop with, for the senior management so that they can understand the strategies. Similarly, there is a program going on energy management. There are programs going on design thinking. So these are some of the critical skills which can be imparted to the employees so that they can manage the change. Another initiative which we have launched is performance management. So initially what happened is there were, excuse me, so there was an individual appraisal. So one person was appraised by a reporting manager or maximum reviewer. Now, because there is a change, there are now teams working. So the appraisal system has also to be changed to appraisal of the teams. So we have changed the system. Now we have implemented 360-degree appraisal. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. So 360-degree appraisal has been introduced. We are now introducing analytics into performance management so that the goal setting is facilitated by analytics, so that when the goals are set, there is some kind of sense that what kind of goals can be set, what could be the barriers, what could be the timelines. Similarly, moving on to the policies, we have upgraded our policies. We have DEI policy in place to make our workplace more inclusive. There should be measurable DEI targets. Our Surat factory, it's a CPM factory, JK paper factory. So we have implemented one complete day shift where all the workforce, the supervisors, the manager are all women. So it's a everyday general shift managed by all women workforce. We are also trying to implement the same experiment in our Banmore tire plant, where again we'll have DTs running our shop floors. So these are some of the changes. Now I invite Jayashri to share.
So at PureTech, we do something very simple, but I think that is the crux of the evolving landscape of people and culture. We push people and our employees to reach their maximum potential. So we are a 250 people strong company, and the infamous Gen Z is our, your regular employee. I actually love them because they will challenge your mind and your ability to make decisions in ways you have not been challenged as an HR professional. So we are very grateful for that. But at PureTech, I think what we really do, and my colleague Kainat is here and she'll second that, is we don't give up on people's potential. Even at a point where an employee is close to giving up on their own potential, or business is close to giving up on that employee's or candidate's potential. So there are in fact days where hours go just in mentoring, understanding productivity of 1 to 2 people only. But that is the kind of effort that we put in And that, of course, eventually leads to retention, development, capability building. But the crux of it is that we hired a particular person for a certain job, and it is our responsibility as HR business partners to ensure that this person has been stretched to his or her maximum potential, given the tools, the policies, the processes, the mentoring required to fulfill and maximize that potential. So, our top leadership, we get into conversations which are about people. So it could be something as simple as discussing a fresher's performance and productivity which is not up to the mark, right? And the easiest thing would be to say, let's replace this person. But we don't do that. Because that to us is a bigger challenge. To be able to build potential, to be able to maximize potential up until a point where the person is fully empowered. So I think that is a shift, and I think organizations have to meet their people and culture teams halfway to be able to do that. And from what Mr. Mahindran said, he said empower your teams, and I'll go a step ahead. Let's just empower ourselves, right? So let's stand up and fight for the talent we've brought into the organization. At PureTech, we actually get into debates, conversations where we believe that no, this person has to be upskilled a certain way, and then let's wait and watch if results are different.
But most of the business leaders, they're expecting 100% JD matching. 100%. Okay, even if you bring a talent matching with 60% of skills, they don't accept it.
I think that's a different panel, changing landscape of business. Because
see, if you look at HR, we are facing the same challenges in all the organizations.
Yeah.
So I would topping up that, even if you look at the another very very much challenge here is shop floor people management. Okay, and where I had a very good experience of implementing of SMT, self-managed team. When people who is from manufacturing background, probably you can create that, and you will be having your talent pool in our organization. Whereas nowadays we are very difficult to find a talent for ITA or a diploma finished people to operate our operations. If you start building up the SMT concept, self-managed team, it would help you and create your talent inside, and also start initiate of internal promotions also. Don't look for the candidates, engineer or senior engineer or any senior engineer or executive level. You can pick a talents from your shop floor itself. So that it will be giving one side it is a career progression, other side you will also get the organization will have a good culture in mode. Okay, I believe it takes more time. Ma'am, you wanted to add something?
Yeah, so I wanted to add from a performance management perspective. So I work very closely with the MSME segment, the micro, small and medium-sized enterprises. And the scenario over there is completely different. They actually work like how the HRs used to function in 70s. The personnel department, they actually work like that. So at HR Innovate, what we do is that we drive the change in their organization with the new latest ways of working, latest ways of managing talent, because even those people, see, whatever it is, they are also having Gen Zs, millennials who are working for them. It's just that they are MSMEs, they are small businesses, right? But at the same time, the talent that is there, they are also the same generation that the other organization or other large organizations are getting their talent from. The age group is the same, but at the end, what they do is they're working for an organization which is working with their age-old technologies. So at HR Innovate, we work with them and bring those kind of changes, right? So one of the changes that we brought in when it comes to performance management, they used to have these appraisals and very abrupt appraisal. मेरे बॉस को मैं पसंद आया, they've given me a 10% increment. मेरे बॉस को मैं पसंद नहीं आया, 2 साल से increment नहीं हुआ है. That's how they work. Okay, so we stopped this entire, the clients with whom I work, we stopped this entire functioning. What we've done is that we've come up with KRAs and KPIs for each of the roles. We've defined what exactly an individual needs to do on the job. And then we have quarterly reviews of those KRAs and KPIs for each of the employees, which is a very new thing for them, and they have not probably seen, because these guys, they keep moving from one MSME to the other, you know, and majorly all manufacturing organizations, small manufacturing organizations. So for them, this is a very new concept, you know, where they come to know कि मुझे करना क्या है, वो लिखित में बताया है, you know, that's what they say, you know, and each of their KRAs have weightages, each of those have KPIs which are defined. And then we review all of this on a quarterly basis. And those scores are accumulated and given at the end of the year as an annual appraisal score. And based on the appraisal score, we come up with a compensation and benefits grid and appraisal grid, and then we decide on the compensation. So it's a very fair and it's a very transparent process that we set for these kind of employees, you know, who work in the MSME segment, but at the same time, they are getting what the other large organization employees would get. You know, so that is, I think, the role of HR to change, bring in that kind of change and positive change for for the employees of the organization, for whoever you're working for. You know, at the end of the day, the employees, when they go home, they should go home with a big smile on their face, that we've done something great, we've done something nice for our company, and they should feel connected to the organization that they are working for. I think the role of HR is to bridge that gap and bridge that connect between the employer and the employee. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Supriya. So few more initiatives which I would like to share. So let's say DEI. So to give a major push to DEI, we have organized initiatives like we have a all-woman sports day, which is called JQ Women Premier League. It's a full day sports program where all kinds of sports are played exclusively by women employees of JQ. So all across the organization, all the women gather at one place. There are teams formed. There are competition at the end. There are medals, trophies, and all that are given. There is a pre-event party and all that. There's a recognition which is given to women. So that is one of the initiatives. Another is we have Nari Shakti Awards. So the functional heads, they nominate women performers in the organization who have done exceptional job. Then we have a panel of external women leaders, CHROs and all those. So multiple panels which evaluate the case which is presented by the reporting manager for those women employees, and certain high performers, high potential women employees are selected, and then they are awarded by the management and the external panel. We also have JK Nari Raksha Kavach. So what happens is the women employees are trained in day-to-day situations because they are walking late evening towards metro stations, they have to go home late. So how they can defend themselves in case of any kind of physical attack. So there is a workshop which is conducted full day every